Hello. How's it going? Will you stop it with the meh? Meh amphetamines are not good. I know you get angry at me when I get mehy and I get all mopey, so I'm gonna do the same to you. Ew, hug my face. Why? I think those should be opened all the way through. After I bought this, a video showed up on my For You page on YouTube about the Trumpeter LAVs. And I didn't appreciate the video. The individual building it was calling it a bad kit because it had flash. Flash is part of the deal on model kits, I'm afraid. Especially Trumpeter. Even Tamiya has flash. And don't lie to me and tell me they don't. I've built enough of them to know they do. And it wasn't so much flash, it's just simple mold seams. And it's the same exact basic hull as this, I believe. For the most part. I think the hull's slightly different, but the other parts are the same. So I hope anyone watching this can see that, you know, building it live, you're seeing anything I have to deal with. To me, it fits fine. Detail's nice and sharp. I'm trying something a little different. I'm printing off the Warlock antenna and its ECM. You know, it's little bits and bobs that go with it. And I'm trying my hand at printing off some resin tires. Not that these tires are terrible at all. That's okay. As you can see, the sidewalls are wrinkled and dimpled like they should be. Tread's really nice. They're even kind of squishy, so if you wanted to make these look flattened, just cut yourself an oval of plastic, slightly wider than the tire, put it in here, and it'll flatten out that bottom part by just pulling the tire outward. The only thing missing is the Michelin logo, which Trumpeter, honestly, I can understand why they don't have it. They couldn't get the copyright. That's fine. It's the same reason on the instructions you'll see things pasted over because they couldn't get the copyright to make the drink containers for the US market. But I'm trying some 3D prints on these. I think from how it looks, one, it comes with the spare tire, which every LAV I've ever seen has a spare tire on it. Doesn't matter what it is, it's got a spare tire. I think the tread's a bit deeper, and it'll allow me to sand the vehicle once it's once the lower hull's assembled. I'll be able to flatten it out and give it a more, I think, realistic representation of a weighted tire. Yes, they can bulge on the side, but a lot of aftermarket weighted tires, they call them sagged tires, I think are too weighted, too sagged, and they look flat, which you find from time to time, but they don't look right. At least not to me. Okay. Going to the Class 6, or you just going to the corner shop? Right now I'm just cleaning up some leftover nubs from manufacturing. But functionally, this kit can be built from the box and look great. Anyone who tells you otherwise, kiss my ass, and you can send them here. But that's my take on it. And it's kind of disheartening that there is a subset that think that all models are bad unless they've been blessed by certain manufacturers. They're not. Some just take a little more cleanup. It's not saying there aren't dog shit models out there. There are. But it depends on how much effort you're also willing to put into it. For an example, go find the SE for comparison. The SE Italian-made LAV25 kit from the mid to late 80s. It can be built, but it has issues that are actually like visually wrong, like misshapen parts, a whole bunch of things going on with it. But that's more a question of, does accuracy matter to you? If it doesn't, and you just want a model to give to your kid because they like the LAV, and they don't notice that the front end is a different angle, stuff like that, then it still builds great. It actually builds very well. I built a couple of them when I was younger. But if you're looking for something that's a more correct representation, well, you'd want to go with the Trumpeter ones, or at least minimum the Italeri kits with maybe some aftermarket wheels, because the two-part wheels in the Italeri kits, they work, you know, they're okay. If you took some time to kind of join the engraved detail on it with like an X-Acto saw, you could make them into passable representations of the wheels that are on it at the time. If you didn't want to spend out for aftermarket wheels, anything like that. But that's the difference of time and effort. But the main reason I'm replacing the wheels on this is, one, the file set came with the spare tire, and two, I just wanted to see how my printer does on something like that. I'm sure it'll do fine, but I'm just using it as a test to see how it does, how my settings are, and things like that. One moment, I've got to go to Kick and take care of something. My admin is currently at lunch. Boop. Bye. Trying not to sneeze. Don't tell me I gotta go to Twitch and get rid of something too. There's a coffee stream bot that just showed up. And I don't stream bot. Sorry. I don't view bot. And I know Twitch is gonna kick down hard on that pretty soon. So I'm just opening a window to keep an eye on things. Final axle that feeds out to a differential with the propellers on it. Did I just trim off the wrong nub? I trimmed off. Well, these aren't going to matter anyway because I have to drill the holes in the wheels that I'm printing. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the wheel prints turn out overall. I'm actually looking forward to it. It's going to be probably another, I want to say 2.5, 3 hours till they're done. Printing at a 0.25 or 0.030 layer height. And I've got them slightly angled, so any wood grain or island effects won't be visible because they won't be on the flatter face of the wheel. They'll be hidden inside the tread texture. The outside face of the wheel should actually be very smooth and clean if it does it right. We'll find out. Well, I'll find out at least. I don't know if I'll still be on when I pull them off the plate. Welcome back. Had to do some banning on the kicker. Got another tired of streaming to zero thing that popped up. I wish this section was more, what's the word I'm looking for? Populated on Kick. YouTube's growing well, though. I've got like 6 more subs on YouTube in the past few days. Why are you so loose? Capillary action going there. Now you're tightening up. YouTube chat's okay. There is a lag to it. But overall, YouTube is the one that's showing the most steady growth out of anything right now. It just feels like Kick is filled with IRL and React streamers right now, is all. Because that's where everybody's at and watching. Hey Skeldcrafts, how you doing? How you been? Whoop! It landed on my chair. No kitties joining us yet. Nice. Yeah, I wish I could take more vacations. I mean, I've got the time, I just need the time. And I know that just made no sense, it was confusing as hell. What I mean by that is I have the PTO, I just don't have the personal days. Oh, don't worry about it. I can't spell or type properly half the time as it is. Yeah, we don't need another one of those popping up. I figured we'd build something quick and dirty today. At least I hope it's quick. I didn't feel like figure painting, I didn't feel like anything too stupidly involved today, right? Just wanted something brainless. I did figure out a way I could faux up a interior for this if I wanted to do the engine. But instead I'd rather just buy that kit and build it outright and get the engine for it. The mortar carrier version has the interior, I think, up to the driver's compartment because this entire section opens up so they can fire the mortars out of it. So it's got the seats in the back and it's got up to here and all that. So I think if I'm going to do another one of these, but so it has a visible interior, I might get the mortar carrier one and then do the engine bay open too. So that can add a little bit more to it. I'd have to cut this out, but that's on my radar. If I feel really good about this build, that'll be on my radar. I think I've got it saved on my Amazon list, so I'll be able to find it easily. we'll see how this goes and see how payday goes too. And again, for those of you out there who are subbing, thank you. I know you might not be able to catch me live, but I know you're seeing the videos somehow, some way. I don't know if you're following through or subbing through short views or anything like that, but I do appreciate it. I need to see what options there are for the 35th scale Revell GTK Boxer. Because I think when I finally get onto my my German tank transporter build, that's what I'm going to put on it. Ah, that went boing. I know the basic kit's decent. I just don't know if there's anything out there for like the interior of the crew space, anything like that. It comes with the driver's compartment, but then the modular part on the back is just a hollow box. I think it would just be neat to have a little peek on the inside of it. A25, A24. Okay, they're all A25s from the look of it. Okay. Okay. Okay, I see now. The 24s are on the front ones. The 23s are on the second ones. And the 16s go all the way around. This one goes here. My finger's a little piece. This one goes here. And the whole thing falls apart. No, I know what I gotta do. I'm just being stupid about it. Tweezers. Don't do this. Okay. There we go. I don't know if we'll have a visitation from our little spider friend. Last I saw that night, they went up the paint rack and back up to the window. That's what she said. Giggity. But I am even going to endeavor to use the stowage stuff that Trumpeter included in the kit. It's 4 sprues like this, but it's a flexible rubbery material, but it places the vehicle sometime in about 2003 or 4 when they were switching from the Alice gear to the Molly gear, so both were still in there. And it's got some sea bags and stuff too. If I have to get the if I have to get more stowage out, I can. I've got tons of stuff left over. Hiccups. But my next day off will be Friday. forward to me being on that day as well. One thing I may look for today, see if I can find it online somewhere, is a decent 2003-4 era Marine Corps vehicle crew. Oh, come on, damn it. I don't know if they had switched fully over to Marpat by then, and if they were using Molly gear. I'll see if one exists. Okay. So there's some smaller pieces that go on here, like just little lifting lugs and things like that. I'm leaving them off until all this is done and the top half of the hull is glued on. Once that's glued on, I can start gluing all the little bits around. There's still a lot left to do otherwise. Ear is itching. Part A8 for directing the propeller. Or not directing the propeller, it looks like a step differential cover too. My fingies really don't want to fingy today. They all kind of want to thumb. Giggity. Oh, that was a delay on there. Probably an audio delay too. Yeah, YouTube has some pretty bad latency issues, but other than that, it's good. You having a good, boring Monday at work at least? Excuse me. Ugh. I even got up earlier today, but between adulting and breakfast and just trying to get motivated to work up anything, yeah, it took me that long. There is some flash on this. It is early 2000s Trumpeter. I think it said 2005 in there. Yeah. It's back when they were still practicing with their slide molds and things like that. I think it would be neat to do the whole Trumpeter family of LAVs. I know they've got the mortar carrier, the command version. I think they do the anti-tank version, and they do the air defense one. And the recovery version. Why am I yawning? Oh, because I'm old. Something to drink. Getting a little dry. Okay, aside from these things, step 2 is done. Who should I look at for the crew on this? What manufacturer? I don't really like Trumpeter's figures, they're very coarse. I wonder if Meng does a Gulf War vehicle crew. I'll have to look. I know they do a Bundeswehr vehicle crew, and they sell. What was that Masterbox? That was Masterbox that did the Fennec crew. I know it's not very exciting watching me trim nubs off of parts, but that's part of the task. More tweezer work. There we go. Is everybody else having a good day, though? Did everybody have a nice weekend? Mine was hectic as all hell. Trying not to sneeze. We're coming up on our first move around break anyway, so I might take that as a chance to go blow my nose and stretch it out a bit. Not my nose, but just in general. I'm also going to use the, some of the Vallejo ground effects stuff that I've got on the lower hull to kind of dirty it up, ugly it up a little bit. Add some mud here and there. Before I do that, I'll do some more looking around to see if I can find good references of like LAVs on exercise or on patrol. Just to see how they weathered, how the dust spread and all that stuff. Up. There we go. A 12 and 17. I'm also leaving these off until I get the hulls joined. They're the steering vanes for the propellers. Anything long and thin that's not joined at two ends, yeah, I'm leaving off until after they're glued up. Because I know I will be knocking those side by side, or side to side in a heartbeat. Twitch. Sorry again for going a little quiet, just getting lost in the build kind of stuff. What the hell? I know I'm getting them in there right. Be careful when you're building it. These are handed. They're for the left and the right. You can tell by the nub being on top. That's where the shock absorber mounts. Just get all the shocks off the sprue now. But even the welding on the kit is really well represented. Very fine, and it looks like it would under a few coats of paint. Looks like I just now joined in on Twitch. There's some weird stuff going on. Then again, these... I'm like Alan Grant from Jurassic Park. Computers are allergic to me. Welcome back. Yeah, it looks like Caster just had a glitch. Hey, Saber Girl. We got an Arnie at the feet. didn't even notice him come down. I just moved my foot and there was warm fur. Usually he'll rub on my leg or something. Let me get these last few bits glued on, and I will take my move around break. If anyone else has been sitting for a while, at least an hour, if not more, also get up and move around, please. Because blood clots are a bitch. Not that I know personally, but I don't want to experience it either. I'll give you a hint. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Make you move? I could easily just contact Black and get your number to where you work and call your supervisor. I wouldn't do that, but... He could find out. Being a smartass, by the way, don't take it as a challenge. So, move around break, and then we will finish up with the last few components for the underside, minus the tires. We'll start working on the lenses, for lack of a better word. They give you clear plastic to put in the holes for the periscopes. Yeah, we're just gonna put them in there. They're gonna be getting painted over anyway. So, yep. Let me move around and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I went and got myself some snacks. Tie rods. You know what? I'm going to make those periscopes even easier. I'm not even going to worry about putting the stupid plastic in them. I'm going to leave them out and just fill the hole with micro crystal clear when I'm ready to get that point. I'm not even going to fight trying to get those little itty bitty bits of plastic. Why is Ko-Fi Streambot in here? I don't even have a Ko-Fi account. Come here, you. I'm gonna try getting one of these glued in place to anchor it, or else it's just gonna keep bouncing out on me. One more. So, because they're basically doing a series of kits with one, these are the original rims for your standard LAV25s. The Service Life / A2 ones had wider tires put on, so I don't need those rims. I'm just cutting everything off this sprue that I'm going to need. So, I can throw this out. Yep. The wheels I'm printing also, they're complete rims, so. Hi, Arnie. I'm rubbing his belly with my foot. Get some music going again. There. So, outside of needing to do the periscopes, which I'm not doing, there is nothing else that needs to go inside. Nothing up. Why? Did I say something stupid? Alright, just making sure I don't have to put anything else inside the model before I glue it together. I don't, so I'm going to get all three main bulkhead pieces and get it all glued up. And it sounds like the tires are printing well. I took a listen to the printer before I went upstairs real quick, and I could hear the appropriate peeling noises. No. Oh, you probably saw me selecting music. I am going to look something real quick. I can't remember if I put the mortar carrier on my wish list so I could find it easier. Yep, there it is. $4. I could get it right now if I wanted to. It would just be neat if they included those sprues for the interior in the standard kit. That's better. Tape. I'm not mumbling to myself too quietly again, am I? But this is another reason I left these off. There's probably going to be a seam I have to fill and at least scrape back down here. And if those steering vanes are in the way, I wouldn't be able to do that. But let me get the rest of the upper hull on. Go. And while that dries, we can start building the turret. We're just going to work our way around the vehicle. Try and let capillary action do what it needs to do to spread the glue. side next. And then we'll wrestle with the back plate. There's most likely just some minor tolerance issues going on with maybe some flash that I missed. That's all you need to just throw it together. It's going well. Welcome to the channel. No real fit problems. Nothing that I haven't experienced in any other LAV kit before. I'm more worried about the wheels I'm printing up for it than anything. Yeah, that seam's almost going to completely disappear. Little Mr. Surfacer in there, some light scraping, and we'll be good. I put my tape on the wrong side, so having an uncomfortable time grabbing that. Let's fix the tape situation real quick. And stab myself. Overall, the kit's very nice. The fit's pretty tight. Actually, I might have to look at references, but I think there's actually a natural weld there anyway. So I might be able to leave that if I can get something to kind of squeeze out of it a little bit. Or I can use the old armor modeler's adage, just cover it in mud. Come here. Alright, so yeah, we'll let that set up. While that's doing its thing, we'll work on the turret. Top. There. Bushmaster. go. Again, aside from that part, looks like the only thing that needs to go inside are these. We'll be taking care of those differently. That. And we are link friendly, so if anyone's working on anything they'd like to share, just go ahead and drop a link. I think I figured out how to enable those on YouTube as well. Just don't be the first person to make it so we're not link friendly. Sorry, Ernie. I just bumped him in the head with my foot. Allie followed me down, but I don't know where she went. I don't know if she's in her donut or not. No, that's not a mismold or a missing part. That's the shell ejection port for the 25mm. If I remember right, it's the same cannon on this that's in the Bradley. Looking at some other photos of it, just to get an idea of what I want to do. This Mr. Cement that I'm using, well, it's actually Plastrux cement. What is it actually? It's this stuff. Bonds and dries pretty darn quick. So let's get that on. Maybe a command version would be one to do next, because that thing looks nasty. It doesn't have a gun or anything on it outside of like crew defense stuff. It just looks, I don't know, looks weird. I think the mortar one should be next if I want to do an engine. Leave that there for now. I'm also keeping an eye out for our little spider friend. Haven't seen him yet today. Really? Oh, hey look, Nightbot's back. I'll need to see if I can find some 35th scale camo netting too, I think. Like the stuff I've got for my 16th scale stuff. Maybe. Go. And the kit did come with a small set of photo etch parts as well. And I hope everybody's enjoying what I am showing of the build. I know that this kit in particular has been kind of crapped on by some people. It's really not bad. It's actually a very well thought out kit. That's for anybody new here who hasn't seen it yet. Picked up the wrong sprue. Why did they give me this two-part one? The fluting is slightly different. And the muzzle brake. Okay. Let me get the basket on the rear. That is a nicely molded one-piece basket, though. I haven't seen that since... God, I want to say DML's first Abrams back in the 90s. I remember that thing being a royal pain in the ass to get off the sprue, too. But I managed it. What should we name our little spider friend if he ever shows up again? This will be easier to clean up the rest of the way if it's actually attached to the model. And if I stop doing that with it. because I'm not about to fight the photo etch onto this piece while it was still all wibbly wobbly like it was. So once it's on and it's dried, let's bend you a little bit so you go the other way. I am enjoying this model though, it's going together quite well. Looking for, there it is. Okay. I'm looking for part C28. Why is it hiding? And if you guys are building something but you're kind of stuck, don't worry about it. That's why it's a hobby. I think, and I need to keep telling myself this too, but I think we see other people do this so prolifically with much what feels like speedier results. And we forget this stuff can take, you know, it could take a couple days just for the basic assembly before you even get to paint. You know? So don't let all the other video makers out there fool you that, you know, oh, I did this in an evening. No, you didn't. I'm going to build as much as I can on this, but there's going to be a point where I'm going to have to set it aside to cure up and dry, you know? And that'll take a day or two. But the model's simple enough, I think I can make it the stream subject for the next few streams. As you can see, I've been having a little trouble with my hands for like fine detail stuff. So I didn't want to really do any figure work today or anything like that. I'd get really frustrated doing something small as far as painting. And I may even do a, I think I've thought of a way to do more shorter form content that's not shorts, but it's not streaming as well. And I think I might do that with the wheels that I'm printing up. Maybe every time I do a military subject like this, I can see if there's any kind of 3D print files accessible to everybody, where if you have a printer or can get them printed, you can do that at a lower cost than, say, going for the aftermarket companies. This might be a good example of that, so I'm going to see how that goes. Might work on that this evening and upload that. But when I upload it, it'll be on YouTube only, so if you're not over there as a subscriber, kind of check it out. Let me see here. There we go. Arnie, I gotta move my foot, bud. I know it's your pillow right now. Thank you. I'm gonna leave the hatches off for right now until I decide if I'm going to do crew in it. I think I should. It'll just give some life to it as well with the stowage and everything that's on it. I know. We need to set one up for Kick as well. But I was trying to see if Davos wanted to follow that from YouTube or from Twitch. If he wants to follow along with the wheels that I'm printing out and see where it goes from there. Basically what I want to do is print it out to the best of my ability and just do a detail and overall quality review of the files based on what I'm able to do with it. Because I think you can get the DEF model ones for like 25 bucks, but you have to wait for them to be shipped to you. Whereas with this you can spend 15 bucks and print them at home in like 3 hours depending on your settings. Well, it looked like the command worked on Twitch, so and that's where I wanted it to work. I know we don't have the command set up for anything else. Smoke dischargers put in place. So we are at our second stand-up break of the stream. So if you've been sitting for a while again, get up, stretch around, and move around, please. I'll be right back. I can hear the film in my printer going thunk when all the wheels let go. So that's interesting. Just checking on things on here. Making sure nobody's tried calling me in the meantime. Well, got a few more subs on YouTube if you guys are still there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. No, print didn't fail. Just I have 9 tires all oriented the same way across most of the vat, so when the plate rises, the vat's being stretched pretty evenly, and when it lets go, you can hear it go thunk back down. It's not very loud, but you can just hear it. I don't know if it's failed yet because they're not above the rim of the vat, and I'm not about to pause it. I don't want to tempt fate. But my last few prints have been going well. Printing this one at a finer layer height too, so I don't have as much intrusion in the tire tread. So hopefully it'll have a much better finish to it. I don't know if it'll be done by the time the stream's over, because I'm probably just going to do a regular 3-hour today. Unless we somehow get a massive influx. While things are drying on the turret, we're going to bounce back to the hull, start taking care of some of the bigger stuff on that, and work our way down to all the little hook and loop type things. So we'll have to put some Mr. Surfacer right in there. That can dry while we do the rest, and we'll just scrape it flat. Gap's not as bad as I thought it would be, though. I'm gonna need some new Mr. Surfacer. I don't have any lacquer thinner to reconstitute it, and I think it's about to kick off completely. We'll see. It still looks gooey. Gooey enough anyway. Come here. Yeah, I'll need to get some lacquer thinner. I should order it off of Amazon tonight actually, so I can have it here soon. So, but it's thickened up to right where I want it to be. It's self-leveling. So it'll go into that gap, kind of level off, and any excess I can essentially just take an X-Acto knife, lightly scrape it over the top and remove the excess material. I don't have to worry about how to get some sandpaper in there, anything like that. If I had lacquer thinner, I could just take a Q-tip in, you know, with that on it and wipe it off, leaving just the filled area. And since I'm lacking lacquer thinner, I'm just using the model cement to clean the brush out. Not the best way of doing it, but it's effective. So actually, while I'm thinking about it, and I won't forget later, to the jungle site. Amazon! Add to cart. It'll be here Thursday, so just in time for the next stream. And see if I can get Mr. Surfacer in a bottle. This is 500. It'll also be here Thursday. The 12th. Alright. That one will be here this week. Yeah, the lacquer thinner I need first, so go to cart. And ordered. There. That way I won't forget about it again. I'll show you why I'm not using the acetate parts. One, this stuff really doesn't glue well with model glue. And two, you see how the shine... You see how the even the cut sections aren't flat. So this is useless. What you need is something like this canopy glue, microcrystal clear, anything that dries clear. And you can basically just take a a fine brush, load it up, and basically make your viewport from the outside. Dries perfectly clear, looks just as good, if not a little better. If I can just get the photo etch out of here. Come on. Really? Come on. There we go. I usually leave one side of the plastic on because it keeps the smaller parts from flinging off. Wow, Aries, you were right. My fingers don't want to finger today. I don't even think they want a thumb. There's Octopus out there going, wow, you can't use your shit, can you? I'm gonna need to get some new super glue soon, too. Just a few dots here and there, just along the edge. I'm basically using a bubble coming out of the nozzle to apply it. The main thing you want to be sure you're lined up on are the two holes for the lift ring that goes in it. Once you got that on, a little bit of accelerator, and we'll leave that alone for a minute. The engine cover out. Winch hatch. Side hatch. Oh wait, that's the side hatch. Durr. The way I'm feeling today, don't mind me, you'll find me outside cutting cricket heads off with the mailbox. But I think that reference is a bit vague for most people. I am having a case of the boingies with the fingers today, aren't I? Oh, come on. Aha. Flash. Wait. was that? Thought I saw a flash on the screen. There we go. Now, if I really had the money to throw around, I would have got this in the mortar carrier version and taken the interior out of the mortar carrier, put it in this. But I really don't feel like buying 2 kits to complete one. Hey Alex, how you doing? I see you are here with us. You know what? I'm gonna leave these back hatches off for now. Just in case the crew set I can find for it includes a couple guys for the back, because there's almost always somebody peeking out the back hatches. If not, it's a simple matter just to glue it on, but if I can find something that just makes it feel a bit more occupied, I want to do that. Let's see if I get that second radiator vent on. Is chat not working for some people? Because I see people joining up. That's okay. What's going on? Vent. Let it out. Let it out before it manifests as something stupid, which will make things even shittier. And you'll know you're getting these on the right way. The top surface that has the mesh texture, it feels like you're touching a microfiber rag. The bottom side's smooth. No, as far as I'm aware, Danish 2A7s are NATO green, primarily. At least the ones I've seen. Oh, I got you, Alex. Yeah. I've been there myself. I think that's another reason I left the other place as well. Got tired of that aspect. No, the only 2A7 I've done is the Plus Demonstrator, which is essentially a 2A6 with a bunch of crap strapped to it. But I've got enough Leopard 2s to last me a while. Both are 16 scale, so I'm not about to start making another one. It seems like too many people are like that at work sometimes. So let's see. I've talked about getting an RC Bradley at one point, and Tong Day came through. I've talked about getting an RC M113 a lot. Tong Day came through. Hey, Tong Day, if you're out there listening on my stream for some reason, can we get some RC LAV25s, strikers, boxers, you know, things like that? How about a Fennec? Give us a Fennec. I'm either blind or stupid or both. I'm stupid. But it's the Danish green is more towards the same tone as NATO green than olive drab. But then again, the one I'm used to is the stuff that was used on the 1A5s. Not what's used currently. If you say so. And no, I'm not a big fan of the Abrams either. But I got a soft spot for the Merkava series myself. Those things are just nice looking. I don't care what you say. And a fully up-armored M60 just looks like a beast. The Leopard's starting to run into the the bad part of how much stuff can we strap onto this thing before it becomes useless. Winch rollers. Yeah, the turret on the Challenger is its weak point, especially the Challenger 2. Challenger 1 turret had a bit more character, because I know for the most part the lower hull's almost exactly the same on them. But yeah, Challenger 1 turret had a bit more character, where the Challenger 2 turret is just, here, Bricky McBrickface. In what scale? But I'd say a Chieftain Mark 11 with a full Stillbrew kit still looks better. I mean, we gave the Russians Dolly Parton with the T-72 and their up armor. That was the nickname that NATO gave it. But if that's the case, then the Chieftain with Stillbrew. Damn it, where'd that go? The Chieftain with Stillbrew is more like Elvira. Believe it or not, the Hanglong King Tiger is actually better than the Tamiya one. I had a part go flingy fling on me. Give me a minute. There it is. Let's see. Next week's schedule is up. I'll be off Sunday and Friday as usual. Okay. Yeah, Tamiya's King Tiger. The tensioner assembly on that is a joke and will actually cause you nightmares. Oh yeah, vent away. And the Hanglong King Tiger also has the same basic sound set as the Tamiya kit. They basically copied it. I used to have a Tamiya, so I know I'm speaking from fact here, not just looking at it and going, well. But when it comes to green on military vehicles, I think we can all agree that the French green is the ugliest out of all of them. think this just glues straight to the hull the way they designed it. Goes over these. Oh, it does cover over that angled section. Alright. Very bright, yeah. I'm just trying to take care of all the easier non-breakable stuff first. Or not so easily broken stuff first, I should be saying. I'm having a brain fart moment. Those are the mirrors for up here. Yeah, those are going to be their own photo etch nightmare to deal with. I guess we can work on turret basket. I'd rather not. I know Warhammer's a big thing on Twitch and everything, but honestly, I'm kind of tired with that whole thing. It doesn't know what it wants to be, you know? Yeah, I used to have an army. Then the scene died here. I played it when I lived in the UK for a little bit. Then I got back here and saw what it was, and I'm like, no, I don't want to be part of it. And then Games Workshop's own decisions on how they want to do things in the intervening years have made me not want to support them. But that's for me. That's not saying you guys can't like it. I just don't. I was a Tau player too, and they kind of left the Tau in the lurch. Okay, since I'm closing the doors, I don't need to put all that crap on the inside of them. Sorry, I'm building out of sequence, so I'm having to kind of go back and forth. Yeah, I'm closing the door so I don't have to put those ammo cans or anything else in them. I'm glad I started a little earlier today, though, so by the time I'm done, it'll still feel like I have an afternoon to do something with, even if it's just watching a movie. Because I might watch... I know I've talked about watching it before, but I never got around to it. I think I'm really gonna pop Battle LA into the player this afternoon. Because one of these was also in that. Well, the main reason I'm doing it is this thing is just covered in little handles and grab holds and things like that, that if you follow the instructions, you're going to wind up breaking them off most of the time. So I'm trying to get it down to where I won't be doing that. I am just dropping parts left and right today. But thanks again, everybody who's dropped in. I really do appreciate it. YouTube is still growing steadily. In the past week, we've broken 500 subs. We're now at 521, last time I looked. So now we just have to concentrate on getting the view hours up, which is why I'm trying to think of little ways to do shorter informational videos, probably using the same format here where you'll see me talking, but I'll be able to turn off the border, or maybe I'll leave the border up, but I'll do shorter informational review style videos that aren't streamed, but you can just kind of catch them and watch them, but based on stuff like what I'm printing, more oddball stuff, not... You know, I'm not going to make it, oh, I bought the latest AK thing. Isn't it so great? That'll get buried with the rest of the AK thing videos out there. But like I was saying earlier, I don't think you were in here, Alex. Like... I want to try finding little printable parts that I can use on models. Like on this, I started the video by showing off the rubber tires. Not terrible. Right size, right shape. They got the little rib texture. Not bad. But I found some ones that are printable that just look a little bit sharper. I've got a Humvee that I want to build, an 1151 Humvee. It's got plastic tires, and Academy did okay on that. But the same guy who did the wheels for the LAV also does the exact same set for the Humvee. So I'll print those out too. And acknowledging my own shortcomings in printing, I will review them as best I can based on like file details, you know, things of that nature. compared to the kit parts. But that way, if somebody out there has a resin printer, and they, you know, you could buy the DEF ones for about the same price as the files. But then you have to wait X amount of time for them to get to you, where you could print them off at home in a day. Instead of a week, you could have them in 3 hours. Maybe put a link in the description or something to where you can download the files as well. But just to kind of combine that stuff a little more, I don't really see a lot of people doing that. They're like, oh, here I use these parts I 3D printed. Okay. Where'd you get them? Let's see the quality on them. At least that's my thinking behind it. We're gonna have to take this a little bit at a time. Overdid it with the glue there. Still printing. A lot of this mesh is going to be covered by like 20 mil cans and packs and things. Come on. I like the photo etch for this. I'm glad it's not the old school nylon mesh that you've got to cut and shape. That stuff was an absolute pain in the ass. But on those other videos I'm thinking of doing, my editing's not going to be great. It's just going to be something kind of off the hip that I record, just like streaming. Depending on what it is, it might just be a couple minutes. But I want it to be something not short-spaced. That way it kind of gives viewers a reason to come to the channel. I might even delete some old videos that just are BS things when I was starting, just learning how the system worked. There we go. Whoa, who's that? Hi, Allie. Hi, little monster. Hi, Allie girl. Well, either that or, you know, if someone's thinking on getting it but they don't know because you're seeing the file, you don't know how it's gonna look when it prints, right? Girl, are we doing this now? Or are you trying to tell me something because it's, you know... Wow, you really send my camera for a glitch. You know that, cat? What the hell? My camera does not like your stripy pattern, girl. That was weird. Hi. I know, the camera just can't reconcile all your beauty and glory and chub. Yeah. But I want to give people a chance to say, hey, I saw what they look like. I want to use them. And you can get them at CG Trader or Cults or wherever. Plus, it might get the original file creator a bit more notice where they feel encouraged a bit more. But we'll see. I think Allie's trying to tell us something because it has been 2 hours and 49 minutes. Is that it, girl? Is this your kitty alarm clock going off, huh? And we have kind of reached a stopping point. I gotta let some things dry still before I start gluing more of the small stuff on. But we'll continue this on Friday. And that's when I'll be installing the wheels. You'll probably see the shorter video tonight. Allie, you're gonna break my camera. Yeah. Watch, somebody will use this as a claim saying I use AI. Belly rubs. Belly rubs for the alley, huh? And thanks for hanging out, Davos. I know you were just kind of lurking out there, but I do appreciate it. And if you follow, thank you for the follow. If you want to sub on YouTube, thank you for the sub there. Allie, you're being a little monster. I know. Yeah, I'll be back on Friday. I want to aim to be actually a little bit earlier on Friday than I was today. No box. Box has parts, no box. You're being needy today. Give me a minute and we'll play. Okay. Yeah, so thanks again for everybody who's been here today. The new subs on YouTube. If anyone followed on Kick, I didn't see anything there. Yeah, I don't see anything coming through there. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a stream, and we'll see you Friday. So everybody.